All right. Welcome everyone to the ARCA Pit Pass Network ARCA series here at Kansas for the penultimate round of the 24B season. Obviously, I'm not the normal guy here, if you can't already tell. Doing a fill-in role, so this will be a interesting night for sure. With myself here and Jesse Racimus running cameras. Yeah, we're going to be in for a good one, I think. Leighton Norgard on pole, looks like tonight, with Corey Abbott sharing the front row. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, Norgard on pole, Abbott second. Jay Kaner will be third, next to Tommy Ryan in fourth. Jeff Ryan fifth, Hunter Smith sixth, Andrew Rucker seventh, last week's winner with his Pro Edge debut, I believe that was last week. Frank Fody, my dad, in eighth. Darren Stapp in ninth. Jeff Story rounding out the top 10 there. Jesse, I don't know if you want to take us through 11th to 20th. Jesse's having some mic issues here. But yeah, Stray Holmes 11th. Got Michael Hossack 12th. Jeff Green 13th. Brandon Ultra 14th. Gavin Higgins rounding out the top 15. Brandon Baldeck 16th. Connor Thompson Gardner 17th. Then Jaden Racimus 18th. Austin and Abnett and Andrew Hardcastle. Bailey Ballard, Kyle Hanshaw, Dustin Dewar, Brian Carrington, David Carpenter, Mike Robilis, Kyle Simmons, Shay Mitchell, David Huck, Harrison Talon, Dustin Haynes rounding out the field. We're just getting ready to go green here. 90 laps here tonight. A couple sets of tires. Should be a good one. I think we'll see a lot of drivers move into the top line here relatively quickly. That is normally the dominant line. Maybe not early though, as you still got fresh tires, but I think people will definitely be migrating up there relatively quick.
Yeah, just from past experience, the low line does tend to fade out here pretty quick, and you will see guys jumping up to the high side. So it looks like my mic's working now. I just wanted to test that. But yeah, I mean, got a lot of action going on right now, and see how long these guys could keep it clean and green.
We'll say at the front here, this is an important battle as far as the championship is concerned. Jake Kaner and Leighton Norgard are tied for second in the standings, just 8 points behind championship leader Michael Hossack, who is currently in 11th. So a lot at stake here. These guys only have one more race after this for the championship. So this could be the night to get in a position for next week, or you could lose it all. So very important stuff here to follow as far as the points go.
Yeah, just trying to catch through the field, look at some of the battles that are going on here. Got quite a bit of guys just running side by side, just trying to take it easy right now until they get the feel for the cars. Oh, as we just see Rucker.
Ooh, Rucker is mowing the lawn. Should be able to save that here.
Yeah, I think we're going to stay green. Yep.
That is last week's winner.
Let's roll back that. See what we got there.
Oh boy, I think I know who that is outside. Let's see. Had a car up in the wall there a little bit. Yeah, it looks like Frank kind of reacting to avoid that. Yeah, that's a tough one. Fortunately, Rucker kept it off of everything and only the beginning of the race. With a yellow here, I'm sure he'll be back in it. Back up front, though, I mean, Norgard, talking about saving tires, Norgard is checking out on the field right now, and he's still running the bottom, which honestly is the preferred line if you're going to save tires. Kind of helps the right front. So interesting to see him running that line and still pulling away. You got Connor following in second there, and they got a nice gap to the rest of the field. Seeing a lot of guys farther back here all over each other.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at now. We got kind of a battle between Jeff Green and Jess Story, Gavin Higgins, Corey Abbott. So taking a look at that for a couple seconds here and see what's going on there. Looks like they're keeping it relatively clean, but looks like Gav is trying to push that 3 wide a little bit hard there.
Yeah, and Jess Story just cleared by there. Jess is fourth in the championship, only 15 points off the lead, so he will be looking for a good night. I'm sure he's not liking the fact that Kaner and Norgard are 1-2 right now, because they are in front of him in the points, but a lot still to happen here. The fuel window is just past halfway in this race, so they will be needing at least one stop. Depends on the yellows we get here, but and only a couple sets of tires, so that could be a factor as well if we get some more yellows.
Yeah, I believe tonight's race actually had 5 sets of tires, so I think the guys are going to be all right for the race tonight.
Yeah, they were a little generous tonight.
I guess pretty sure the ARCA still runs the general, so the general tire crew, I guess they were pretty generous and brought some extras for the
yeah, I don't remember normally having, I always remember only a 2 to 3 sets, but hey, they got more to use now, so see what happens there. Still up front, those guys are running the bottom, Norgard and Kaner.
Yeah,
which they're kind of getting the best of both worlds with the clean air, tire saving line, and pulling away. So
as long as they're backing up that entry, they should remain all right. I kind of noticed that the guys that kind of push it more towards the entry of the corners are the ones that burn the right front up the quickest. So as long as they keep it nice and smooth and back up the corners as the tires get older, I think they'll be all right and they can stay down there.
Yeah, and the field is starting to get a little strung out here. So this is the point really in the run where you kind of stop thinking about racing the guy and you start worrying about yourself and managing your stuff for the long run. That's kind of looking like the trend right now. We still got some guys kind of searching, but no massive side-by-side battles from the looks of it. Mostly single file here.
Yeah, it kind of looks like we're just going single file with the occasional peek outs of the guys running the lower line trying to get a run. I mean, so far on the board, it kind of looks like the biggest movers so far of the race have been Kyle Hanshaw, who has gained 8 positions, and also Gavin Higgins, who has gained 8 positions as well. So they're moving up pretty good. Hopefully they're saving their stuff towards the later part of the run. Kansas does generally bring out those green flag runs we like to see, so see how long they keep it that way.
Yeah, and Higgins is one to definitely watch. He's a little farther down in the points, sitting 9th, 42 points off the lead. So he is going to need a really solid night and maybe some misfortune from some of the other guys to have a shot at the title next week. But as all this is going on, Jay Kaner has slowly but surely got to the back of Norgard. Don't know if that's a little bit of Norgard falling off or Kaner starting to push it. They are still both committed to the bottom, but they do still have that gap of about a second to the rest of the field. So we'll see what he does here, if he wants to just ride or maybe try and take this lead.
Yeah, we'll take a lap or two riding with Jay here and see how he's running this. And it seems a little loose in the center.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this car around this track. But from what I heard from some of the guys prior, was Kaner catching the wall there. Yeah. What I did hear was it was generally a neutral handling car with the occasional kind of looseness on exit, depending on how you drove it.
As we see it done.
Kaner looking low. He is not wanting to wait around. We'll see if Norgard just gives this to him or if he's going to fight it. Side by side, he's not clear yet. Norgard's hanging there. Maybe a little side draft. I don't know if that's going to affect it. Kaner's trying to cut the apron. Just going to get clear.
That was close.
Okay. Now, they got to remember, we're only 15 laps in here, so... And they have so much of a gap. But Kaner seems very set on what he wants to do tonight. That is going to be a direct rival in the championship. Those two are tied for second. And we do have the first yellow here. Let me see. Who was that? I'm hearing Rucker is saying some stuff. Oh yeah, it's going to be Rucker and Shea Mitchell getting together on the exit of 2.
Yeah, that's not showing up in
Rucker, yeah, Rucker kind of catches the wall here. I don't know if we've found it, but...
Yeah, I'm going to try to shoot back here manually. For some reason, my yellow event didn't show the drivers involved.
Yeah, so essentially he's trying to make his way back through the field from the earlier incident. A little aggressive running the top, and it looked like Jay was honestly giving him the top. Rucker just overstepped it a little bit, caught some of the wall, and you'll see here he tried to pull the car off the wall, and it just barely got Mitchell. Maybe a little net code in there, but that's something you got to watch with the ARCA cars. The right rear kind of hangs out a little more than most cars, so if you get close, it'll kind of pull you in.
As we got rounds of pit stops going here. Guys are
pit stops.
Probably trying to gauge your tire wear.
Quick.
While they're doing pit stops, I'm going to jump off to a quick iRacing break here. So we'll be back in a minute.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Alright, so we're back here, just finished up the pit stops. Looks like everyone came in for 4 tires there. It was a decent run. So yeah, no gamblers yet on tire strategy. We did over the break though, we have a more experienced guy back here in the booth. Robert Hill has joined us, thankfully.
Good evening.
Yeah, glad you're here. You didn't miss too much. Pretty straightforward race so far. And yeah, first yellow.
So it looks like I messed up the server earlier, and that's why things were a little delayed tonight. So my bad there, folks. I forgot to put money on my iRacing account, so there was no money to pay for the session. Thanks, Chad, for fixing that up.
So I'm gonna run through the restart lineup here. So you got a Leighton Norgard with Jay Connor, Hunter Smith, Jess Story, Jeff Green in 5th. Darren Staff, Gavin Higgins, Corey Abbott. You got Frank Fody. And rounding out the top 10, you got Hossack on this restart. So let's see what we got going here coming up to the green flag.
Yeah, looking at just biggest movers so far to the first 18 laps. Jeff Story mentioned earlier from 10th, he's up to 4th. Jeff Green from 13th is now in the top 5. Higgins as well has moved up, and just outside the top 10, Kyle Hanshaw from 22nd to 12th now. So lot of playoff guys moving forward. So let's keep an eye on that.
A couple of those guys have been a little bit surprising this season, such as Gavin Higgins, one of those guys never really expected to see victory lane as soon as he did, but now a winner here in the Elite Racing League as we're coming back to the green flag, Tyler Fody.
Yep, coming back to the green here. Should be pretty straightforward. I don't know how much they're going to want to push the issue here. Kaner and Norgard seem to be the class of the field so far, so they may be content to just kind of ride in line and get their gap as the rest of the field's kind of all over the place. But we did see Kaner run down Norgard at the end of the run, so he may want to get this now. We'll see. He's right on him. They have been favoring the bottom line, which is interesting. This track is multi-lane, so see how long they like that. There is trouble going on in the back. We might have a yellow here. Yep, it's a big one.
Yeah, caution flag out once again. Jeff Ryan involved, Kyle Simmons, Andrew Rucker, and Dustin Doerr all getting pieces of this one as you take a look at the replay here. Is that Kyle Simmons that just gets loose right there? Oh,
yeah, and poor Rucker has just been involved in just about everything tonight.
Andrew Rucker is one of those guys, man. He just has no luck sometimes. Yes, he sometimes creates his own chaos, but quite often he's just an innocent bystander getting caught up in other people's mess. And that one just a really weird one. Kyle Simmons, I think the new tires coming into play there, goes for a big spin. Great avoidance there by Dave Huckleberry just up the road. As you see, I believe that was Jeff Ryan. Yeah, Jeff in the 10, unfortunately getting collected in this one, just nowhere to go.
Yeah, so we'll play along with Huckleberry here. Just watch his reaction to stay out of this mess here. Yeah, everything was on the high side of him, so good job staying low and not getting caught up in that.
You know, sometimes you see those incidents and you instantly you try to take some evasive maneuvers, maybe going a little bit too far in one way or the other. And Dave Huckleberry just decided to stick with the line he had and was along for the ride. And I do want to point out another big mover here. Didn't quite get to mention him. He's towards the tail end of the top 20. Dustin Haynes up 14 positions. Started 31st. Currently sits there in 17th. So good gains for the Canadian driver there on Street Limit Racing.
Yeah, it looks like he's gained 14 positions so far since the drop of the green flag. So definitely a good run going for Dustin and props. Another mover there is Dave Carpenter. He's showing gain 10 since green. And you got Kyle Hanshaw, who we mentioned, and then Jaden Racimus actually is the next highest one with 8 positions. Yeah, I do know him.
Hey, that's cool. You met him a time or two, eh?
Yeah, I believe we both met. Me and Jaden both have met you. Yeah.
Yeah. I met Tyler. I met both of these guys down at Pocono earlier this year, and Jaden is very tall.
Yeah, he's getting to the point. Yeah, he's getting to the point where he's actually climbing up on me, so that's a little worrisome.
Absolutely. As we have a retirement here, Kyle Simmons gonna call it a night in that 74. We just saw him at the root of the previous incident. He's gonna pick up the tally there as per our race controller this evening. So down to 30 active race vehicles currently, with a couple drivers serving a bit of damage on pit road in Connor Thompson Gardner and Jeff Ryan, as lights are still on the iRacing.com pace car, lap number 23 of 90 here at Kansas. The penultimate round of the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. Of course, pitpassnetwork.com, your home for all things motorsports, from news to reviews and interviews. Check out pitpassnetwork.com today. Of course, some of our other great sponsors here at the Elite Racing League, Blue Egg Marketing. Tyler, I think you've dealt with them a couple times.
Yeah, very, very familiar. Great company there, supporting small business. They're on a few of the cars. I don't know about tonight, but definitely in the higher series on Cup and Xfinity. You can see their logo out there on track.
Absolutely. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels. Accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big. And of course, Worldwide Technology Raceway, a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri, featuring a 1.25-mile oval, a 2-mile road course, quarter-mile drag strip, and a state-of-the-art karting facility known as the Kartplex. Check out Worldwide Technology Raceway today. And 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D sim racing shoes are custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing all the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet. Lights are off on the pace car. Fred, the pace car driver, getting set to take it to pit road, as we're going to set the field back in the hands here of Leighton Norgard and Jay Connor.
Yep, should be, well, I don't know. These guys, I feel like they should be kind of cordial with each other this early and seeing the speed they have, but part of me feels like Kaner is going to want to get this lead back, knowing that he does have the speed on him in the long run that we saw earlier. But we'll see here. They're all bunched up. Single file 1 and 2, but doubled up the rest of the way. Got some guys up on the wall. Multi-lane, like I said earlier, this can get kind of crazy later in the race with 3 and 4 wide even. But right now we're just side by side. So we'll see how these guys handle it.
Yeah, these guys definitely trying to calm down just a little bit as we nearly went 3 wide there. Darren Staff took a look to the high side of his RK Motorsports teammate Jeff Story. Those drivers currently battling 6th and 7th as, yeah, things are getting absolutely chaotic there. Gavin Higgins inside, Jeff Green middle, Jeff Story looking to the top.
Yep, and some of these guys, like we said, got a lot on the line. Some of them need great nights, and some of them just need to maintain, and a lot of them are kind of all over each other. Gavin Higgins moving up. He's the one that is going to really need a good night tonight to set himself up for next week. We'll see here. He's up into the top 5.
Yeah, we'll see how long he can keep that car underneath him. He's got a lot better since last season, I will say, but when he first came in last season, he was really aggressive on his entries, so you would find him falling back in the field pretty quick. But it seems like he's got more of a handle on it, as it looks like he's about to go 3 wide there. So, but yeah,
that's sketchy right there.
Yeah, it was a power move into 3rd on the last corner there, but Jeff Green was not quite done with him. We'll see though. It looks like he's got it now. And if I'm not mistaken, Kaner's his teammate, I think.
He is.
We'll see how they treat each other. They're both.
Reckon Jeff Story in the outside wall.
No yellow that I'm
no,
seeing
we're gonna
yet.
say green. No, he's fallen all the way through the field, back to the 29th position. Heavy contact to the outside wall there for Jess Story. And, you know, I was just about to touch on this. Michael Hossack should be concerned at this point. Yes, we're only a third of the way through this race. He entered tonight, though, as the points leader by 8 points over Jay Connor and Leighton Norgard. Only 15 over Jess Story and 17 over Hunter Smith. And just a moment ago, all 4 of those guys ahead of behind Hossack, sorry, were up there in that top 10. So he's got to work in getting up there and try to navigate his way towards the front.
Just take it out.
And just watching this back here, it was just kind of on his own.
It sucked him in.
Maybe, yeah. And unfortunately, you'll see there, Kyle Hanshaw, another playoff guy that needs a good night. Nowhere to go. Kind of ran right into the back of him. We're going to check here. Yeah, we got people calling to review here, trying to double duty this, but Hanshaw may have some some lingering
Kyle
damage from that.
Hanshaw has a meatball flag, Tyler Fody, so he's taken to pit road with some required repairs. Unfortunate there for Hanshaw. But as Tyler Fody does do the race control duties tonight, we have a battle back there on the racetrack for second and third. It's Jay Connor on the inside, Darren Staff on the high side. They're currently chasing down a Leighton Norgard. Just behind them, Gavin Higgins and Jeff Green side by side as well, as we see the driver of the RK Motorsports Mountain Dew machine. RK Motorsports, of course, the team owned by Carlos Acosta, one of our great friends here at the Elite Racing Network. As Staff goes back up to the outside wall once again. Now he's looking for the top spot as a Leighton Norgard just ahead of him. Staff to the high side by side for the lead.
Yeah, Darren's running that line right at the wall. I actually have not seen that since like Kyle Larson has done that in actual real life, but you don't see many guys ride in with their rights a couple inches away from the wall here at Kansas unless they're really, really confident. So Darren might have a good car here to give these guys a battle towards the end of the championship run here.
And that high lane used to actually be the preferred lane here at Kansas before they did some adjustments to the racing surface, as Harrison Talon having a couple of blinking issues. Oh no, Jaden Racima's in the wall.
Hang on to it. Something might be broke there.
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, now it's broken.
Oh, man.
Dustin Dewar going to get collected in that one.
We're
As we
still
take a
wrecking.
look at the replay, oh man.
Might have to run this back farther. I don't know if he just got loose or...
Did he have
maybe
a little... We
here.
could have some family drama up here.
Oh boy, a little drama. Yeah, looks like maybe
there.
a little net code, but also definitely felt it on the 19s end there and just tried to save it down the front stretch and just couldn't hang on to it. We get that slow-mo, maybe see how close this was?
Yeah, let me...
There's definitely some net code in that one. I don't think they physically touched, but Frank Fody and Jaden Racima's definitely coming together through connection anyways. And by the way, as that caution flag came out, Darren Staff did take over the race lead.
Let's get a little closer shot from the rear here.
Yeah, so side by side, obviously on exit here. Ooh, Frank may have come down just a touch there. Definitely some net code. It's really unfortunate. Jaden was just not able to hang on, going through that transition from the apron to the banking.
Take a look at that.
And then, poor Trey Holmes. I mean, we thought Jaden was going to be in the clear, and last second.
I didn't even see that. Oh, Trey, that is so sad.
And then who? I think Dusty ended up getting into him.
Dustin Dewar was the other part of this one as well. Yeah, Dustin Dewar picking up a good chunk of this. I got Dave Huckleberry involved somehow. I think he might have just stopped.
Let's see.
Oh no. Dave was involved in this as well, getting connected with Dustin Dewar.
I'm going to try to... I don't have the instant replay screen, so that's something I need to get here. So unfortunately, you guys are going to have to watch me like massively rewind this tape here.
We'll just play some Jeopardy music as this is going on.
Yeah, I'd like to see if anyone kind of came in late here and added to the carnage. We'll see, I guess.
Dave hits the brakes, and I think it snaps on him a little bit. You're going to see his car kick sideways from the top of the racetrack. Dustin Dewar just right there.
Oh, no. Yeah. And poor Dave. That does have something to do with maybe a little rear brake, a little too much rear brake. You know, you're slowing down, you see the wreck, and it just locks the rears and nothing you can do.
Let me switch over to
really
Dusty
tough
here.
brake. Yeah, we had a lot of guys kind of coming in there late. Obviously, Trey had no time to react with Jaden coming down. Oh, man. Really not a lot anyone could do. I mean, I'm assuming they think Jaden's going to stay up by the wall, and then last second, the car kind of does a left hook across everyone. So really unfortunate, just tough deal for all those guys involved.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for everyone involved. While that was going on, though, it looks like Connor Thompson actually stayed out and now has taken the lead somehow.
Yeah, Connor Thompson, the only driver to stay on the racetrack. He last pit on lap number 22. Everyone else came down on 34. So employing a different strategy here this evening is Connor Thompson. We'll see how it pays off for him. Looking at the points, he entered tonight 10th in points, but still within reach, realistically, of 6th position that was held by Corey Abbott entering this evening. So anything you can do to maybe gain some extra spots in the points, you'll throw some strategy out there and see what you can do. But these cars have been a bit sketchy on the restart, so I'm not sure what to think of this strategy as of yet for Connor Thompson.
Yeah, we'll see what it does for him there. So, preferably, like when I was doing this in previous races, staying out with more than 10 laps on your tires usually ends up not going so well in your favor, and you end up falling back pretty quick. So, well, we'll see if you can keep it up there and see if maybe he catches a quick yellow and it works out for him.
All you can really hope for if you're Connor Thompson is one of those quick yellows that kind of plays in your favor a bit here and allows you to hold on to that lead, maybe get everyone back onto the same strategy as you, and he's going to have that extra set there at the end compared to everybody else.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see with Leighton and Jay Connor. They were able to spread out almost a full second over the entire field on the initial starts. So let's see what we could do here, and hopefully Connor doesn't spin his tires and mess up that whole top line there.
And one thing as well, Jesse, you cannot count out Darren Staff. He's a driver that was able to drive his way up through the field, up 7 spots from the start, was able to take over the race lead prior to the previous caution, and now finds himself inside of row number 1 on this restart. Pace cars off. We're about to get back underway here. Connor Thompson going to lead us back to the green flag, and he does. We're back underway. Top side gets going inside, sleeping just a little bit there. But Darren Staff with a bit of help from a Leighton Norgard going to lead the charge down into turn number 1. Side by side, now 3 wide. Here comes Jake Connor up through the middle.
Yeah. It looks like the tire strategy there is not going to work out in Connor Thompson's favor, but we'll see what happens. He might get lucky here.
Something to point out, Connor Thompson, as we see Kaner really loose. Connor Thompson is a playoff guy, 10th in the standings, and he is 44 points off the lead. So maybe a strategy call there to just get an extra bonus point. You never know, but he's the guy that's going to need a really good run tonight to have a shot next week.
Kind of see Hunter Smith there kind of diving down on Gavin Higgins' right side door there. Maybe something Hunter's not happy about the way it was being run.
Yeah, there's definitely been some really close quarters racing here. Battling for that top spot, 3 wide. Jeff Green on the bottom, Norgard in the middle, and Darren Staff up top. Looks like, I'm not sure who's going to have the advantage here, but I think it's going to be Norgard in the middle, and that goes out the window as the top and bottom both charge off at 2.
Yeah, and Darren Stapp is another playoff guy. He's even farther back than Connor is in 11th, 52 points back. So essentially a must win, and he's going to need some unfortunate things to happen to some of the other competitors. But mentioned earlier, he drove to the front, running the top. That's the line I thought was going to be preferred. I was surprised more guys hadn't tried it, but he definitely figured it out and got right to where he wanted to be. But Jeff Green now is digging on the bottom, might even clear him here. Going to be close.
Yeah, definitely going to be close there. And don't look now, Corey Abbott getting into the picture as well. He's on the inside of a Leighton Norgard. That's his teammate and driver, as Green gets back down to the bottom there of Darren Staff once again. It's 2 by 2 by 2 for the first 3 rows. 5th and 6th is Frank Fody and Gavin Higgins battling it out there as well. This is a great battle amongst this top 10 group of cars.
Yeah, really liking how racy this package has been. Was a little worried.
Staff in the wall.
Staff on the
Gets
wall,
the
yeah.
wall. Keeps his speed up, though. He's actually pushing Jeff. I don't know how much I would do that with how these bumpers align, but yeah, really good racing so far up front. Everyone kind of being mindful of each other, but we're only halfway, and another thing to point out is these guys should be good on fuel now from that last pit stop to make it to the end. So tire wear could be a factor with how hard these guys are running early.
No,
Definitely racing hard. That's for sure. And Jesse, how hard would you be pushing at this point in the race?
So, still got quite a bit of laps on the table here. So I'd probably be trying to be quick, but at the same time trying to back up my corner entry and maybe only like 3/4 and on the way out on the throttle, just to try and keep the right rear and the right front both kind of healthy for the later part of the run if we do manage to go green. So I'd be pushing just enough to keep pace, but not enough to be trying to take the lead position here.
Yeah, don't know if you noticed, but that last time by the front stretch, Green got a run on Stapp, and Darren was kind of giving him the bottom, was almost driving out to the wall. Definitely showing that he wants the top side, and is willing to give up the bottom just with how dominant the top has been. So something to look forward to here, as Norgard's trying to follow in his track. Jeff's just not going to be able to get it done, I don't think, on the bottom with the speed these guys are carrying up top.
Yeah, Darren running that wall there, he's getting such a good run coming out of the corner. It's going to be hard to compete with that unless he makes a mistake and catches that wall.
Darren Staff's one of those really young drivers. I think he's only like 15 or 16 years old, and the talent that he has already is quite impressive. Really looking forward to seeing his development. Is now Leighton Norgard. This is a development. Norgard goes to the inside of Staff. Jeff Green there as well. Corey Abbott getting up into the fight, and they're side by side behind them between Tommy Ryan and Frank Foti. So some absolutely phenomenal battles up here. And really, at this point, I'm not sure who's going to have the best shot at it, but I got to point this driver out as well. Michael Hasek, I mentioned he got to go. Well, he's inside the top 10. He's on the move forward.
Yeah, and he's doing everything that he needs to do, honestly. He is the points leader. He's got an 8-point cushion over Kaner and Norgard, who are tied, we mentioned earlier. If I'm in his position, I'm looking to at least a top 5, or at least be within 5 spots or so of Norgard and Kaner to just have a cushion going into next week. But he's doing all the right stuff. Obviously, he started 12th, was a little bit mired back there, but he's moving now.
Yeah, as we jump back up to the front here, these guys are still side by side. I don't know who's going to come out better here. I mean, I don't know how hard Leighton's pushing on that low side, trying to get the runs coming off, but that high side, you're just going to get so much of a run. It's going to be hard to do anything there.
One driver to really watch here, guys. You can see him coming into that shot right there, and Jesse knows exactly where I'm going with this. Tommy Ryan, the 96 machine. He is all over the rear end of Jeff Green. Currently up into that 5th spot, started in 4th, so he's fallen back just a little bit. As you see the 10 there, that's Jeff Ryan, his brother, I believe it is, just up in the outside wall there. He's fallen back now, but Tommy Ryan, one of those guys on the move. Somebody to watch here in the middle portion of today's race is Jeff Ryan and Michael Hasek nearly come together. Hasek had to have some evasive maneuvers down to the apron, gathers it back up, does continue on. As, guys, it looks like we have Gerald Campbell hanging out in the waiting room. I wonder what old aggressive Soup's got to say.
Bring him on up.
Hey, Gerald, it's Robert, Tyler, and Jesse up here. What's going on, my friend?
Oh, hey, guys. What's going on?
We're, just watching some ARCA here at Kansas. What are you up to tonight?
Well, I was making the YouTube chat a fun place to be with all of my commentating, and you guys aren't looking at the YouTube chat, so it's making it hard for me to to continue. But good racing on track. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's hard for me to pull up that chat at the same time. I gotta get that linked into my OBS view here.
I was just trying to keep people.
Snap in the wall.
Ooh, yeah, I see
Oh,
that.
no, not again. Darren Staff in the outside wall. Jeff Green down to the inside of him. Tommy Ryan coming up into that fight. So Darren Staff once again getting the outside wall. Falls from the top spot back to 3rd, maybe even 4th, as that's getting real tight right there, gents.
Yeah, it's the risk you kind of run when you keep pushing it up top like that. and this run is getting to the point where the tire wear is starting to come in, and that may be affecting Darren here. We kind of mentioned it earlier, running the bottom will save your stuff, and some of these guys have definitely done that a little better than others, as Stapp might be on his way back now.
Yeah, I mean, as you see here, I mean, Leighton, he's just kind of cruising at this point, kind of taking off, and he's almost gained out to like a 4/10 lead over these guys, still racing for this second position.
You know, the season Leighton Norgard has had has been nothing short of remarkable here so far. 4 victories on the year. Prior to this, he had 1 to his name, and now a 5-time winner.
Ooh.
With 4 just now. As we got someone in the outside.
Boy.
This might be even bigger.
Rewind.
Yeah, it looks like Darren caught the outside wall there and kind of checked up everybody and
4
pushing
wide.
4 wide. Oh man,
Don't do it.
Yeah, it's not a good idea here.
That is a terrible idea.
Stapp looks like he's burned up, honestly. He pushed it, and he pushed it, and he pushed it, and I'd have to imagine the right front is suffering right now.
That right front is hot right now.
Oh, man. And he's running these guys tight.
They're squeezing.
A lot on the line
Higgins
for
on
him.
the inside, Jeff Green in the middle, Darren Stapp up top. Now back to 2x2, but Tommy Ryan going to look to the high side again. If I'm Tommy, I'm a little bit concerned about having that Darren Stapp machine in the middle with how tight that car is right now.
Yeah, he's definitely fading. The guy who lucked out from all of this, Jay Kaner, was back in like 6th. They got all jumbled up. He shot right to 2nd, and I'm sure Norgard is not liking that because Kaner outsaved him on the last run. So now he's got a straight shot at him.
And he's definitely trying to take that shot here. Connor closing the gap up to a Leighton Norgard as you see Corey Abbott down on the inside of Darren Stapp there. Gavin Higgins, Hunter Smith trying to work their way by as well. Contact, Smith and Stapp going to come together. Going to be Darren Stapp, the one to fall even further back. Now back to the 8th position. Next time we look, he could very well be outside the top 10, maybe even the top 15 with how quickly that 55 is tumbling through the field.
Yeah, take a look here at Dave Carpenter. Battle for the lead.
Yep, Kaner just got to the inside of Norgard. Like I said, Kaner seems to have the upper hand in the tire saving over Norgard. But I'd also be looking at Tommy Ryan, someone who's got tons of experience and is really competitive in the higher series. He's quietly making his way up here.
Yeah, as these guys are battling out, you can just see Tommy coming in more and more into the picture there. So when we've last checked, it was 0.4 of a second, and because of all those battles, I mean, obviously the leads got shuffled up and battles got shuffled up, but you could just see Tommy picking off like milliseconds here every corner and just getting closer and closer to that lead 2 cars there.
Tommy Ryan practically running the exact same lap times as Jay Connor. Leighton Norgard a little bit slower right now as Connor closing that gap up to Norgard once again. Jeff Green still right there, as is Gavin Higgins. So these guys that are further back in the top 5 not really falling out of it as Tommy Ryan takes a look to the high side of Jay Connor here. We're going to have a battle for 2nd. And if Ryan can get that run off the corner, probably off of turn number 2, it's going to be one heck of a battle here for the top spot.
Take a ride on board with him going through 1 and 2, see what kind of run he gets coming out of the corner here.
Yeah, it should be a good one. If I'm Connor and Norgard, I'm going to start driving the top here, trying to at least put some dirty air on his nose or something, because he's coming with a lot of speed. It's going to maybe just get him on the bottom. Doesn't matter.
That shows me that Tommy Ryan has a race car that can definitely handle whatever lane he throws at it right now. That 96 absolutely on the move. Gets side by side at least there with Jay Connor. Gonna have the upper hand down into turn number 1, and he's closing in very quickly on a Leighton Norgard as well. But Jeff Green right there, Gavin Higgins, Corey Abbott, Hunter Smith, Dave Carpenter, Frank Fody, and Michael Hosick. That's the current top 10. And you know, we mentioned Darren Stapp. He's all the way back to 12th now as that battle for 2nd does continue here. Connor up on the high side now. Tommy Ryan on the inside. Very tight between the 2 of those guys between turns number 3 and 4. And Jeff Green now taking a look down to the bottom.
Yeah, he got him loose. Connor kind of pulled the air off his door there, ran him tight. Ryan had to lift on exit, and that gave Jeff an opportunity. Honestly, if I'm Connor, I'm willing to let that happen again. It seems like it's his only shot to try and keep Tommy back. If he can make him burn his tires up, running the bottom, if they could level off here. So we'll see, but right now Norgard's loving all of this, just pulling away.
Any opportunity you have to lead and have guys behind you battling it out is a great opportunity and a great chance to maybe relax a little bit in the hands there of a Leighton Norgard, as Jay Connor still has Tommy Ryan there with him. A couple other battles throughout the field as things got a bit sketchy there for a moment.
Tommy's loose. Tommy might have cooked his stuff there, being forced to run the bottom for those few laps. He's back to the top now. We'll see. Norgard and Connor are content to just run the bottom, which I believe should be saving the tire a little more. So if they just keep doing that, and then when Tommy gets to him, go to the top, they might be able to keep him back.
Getting down to the final third of this one as well, guys. So laps starting to run out. Tires definitely feeling it a little bit more. Almost 30 laps on this current set. So do we see people dip down a pit road, or are we kind of content to just run it out to the end and see what we got?
Yeah, most people I feel like are just going to run this out. They should be, I'm not 100%, but they should be right at the fuel limit running this thing out. So, and I don't think there's going to be much to gain pitting now, just not enough time. But this will really come down to who has saved the best tires. Oh man, that's a lap car.
Yeah, Huck's on the high side, just trying to stay out of the way, and these guys are just coming up on him so much quicker.
The speed of this racetrack here at Kansas, especially in this ARCA car, is almost like a super speedway. So when you're by yourself, have some damage. We know Huck does have some damage there. Definitely a speed difference coming into play, which is scary for not only the leaders, but also the driver of that 52 machine, as this battle for the top spot starting to brew a little bit more now as Jay Connor closing up to the rear end of a Leighton Norgard. He might have a look here between turns 3 and 4, and he opts not to. I think he's setting himself up for a deep dive into the corner down in turn number 1.
Yeah, these guys have been fairly evenly matched all night. Depending on how hard they want to fight this, they could compromise themselves at the end of the run. If I'm Connor, I may not be wanting to do this right now with 25 laps to go still, but quietly I just realized Jeff Story from his earlier wall contact has snuck back into the top 10, which he needs that because he's a little bit back on the points. So we'll see if he can get any farther up. But Hosek, current points leader, 9th place, which is 8 spots back from Norgard, which is the point lead that he had coming into tonight. So at this rate, they would be tied going into the final.
And Jay Connor, keep in mind, also was tied with a Leighton Norgard coming into tonight. So it would be 3 cars within, give or take, a point for the top spot heading into the finale if things finish the way they are right now. So definitely be sure to tune in next Tuesday night, because it is going to be one heck of a battle for the title here in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. The final race under that branding as well, because of course next season we will be moving over to a new series name, and definitely some exciting times ahead in the development series of the Elite Racing League. 23 laps to go. Norgard, Connor, Ryan, Higgins, and Green, the top 5.
Starting to notice here, Higgins and Green have slowly caught this trio, and they've kind of put a gap on the rest of the field. This could turn into a 5-car battle. We'll see. I don't know what the tire saving has been like for these guys, but
None.
Higgins, yeah, Higgins being Kaner's teammate, it'll be interesting to see if he can get up there, but he's showing a lot of speed. I don't know if he'll get up there or not. We'll see.
It's kind of interesting on Gavin Higgins' car here, because he actually asked me a few weeks ago why his custom paint does not show in the sim, but it does show on the information here on the broadcast. I cannot answer that, so if anyone has an answer for that.
I can answer that, actually. by chance is he using sim stamp numbers?
I believe he might be, so I'll have to check with him on
So
that.
if he does, it's because hide car numbers is checked in the graphics, which makes stuff like that disappear. As we have a new second place driver, Tommy Ryan, ahead of Jay Connor. So if he uses a sim stamp number, we can't actually see it because iRacing kind of prioritizes the drivers that have the custom numbers on there instead.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay. So yeah, as we had Tommy Ryan take over to second place here, so he was battling loose just a couple laps ago. Maybe just kind of took it a little bit easy there for a couple laps and kind of cooled down his tires, and seems to be picking up more gains here. So looks like he's back on the move up towards the top spot.
Yeah, the roles have definitely reversed in the last couple of laps. Kaner, who was looking like potentially setting up a move for the lead, now kind of fading. So don't know if he's burned his stuff up there, or if Norgard's just put the hammer down and is trying to pull away from these guys, and Ryan is ready to follow him.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see here Tommy Ryan coming back alive, and like you said, Jay Connor really fading here. Gavin Higgins just behind him, took a look to the high side, now going to take a look to the bottom, not quite able to get there that time. And I can kind of imagine maybe being teammates that Gavin's not going to pressure him as much as he may pressure somebody like a Tommy Ryan, just knowing that point situation, especially with just one race to go after this one. But if it weren't his teammate, I could see Jay Connor now literally back in that 5th or 6th spot, just with the way the car's trending. But up front, guys, this battle for the top spot, it's on. Tommy Ryan up to the rear bumper of Elate Norgard as they head down the back straightaway. 18 laps to go here at Kansas. And I don't know that Norgard's going to be able to hold off too long here, as Tommy Ryan looking real good in the late stages.
And I don't know how much I would fight this. I mean, obviously you want to win, but Tommy Ryan is not in the playoff picture at all. And Norgard has got a really good position, obviously leading, but if Ryan puts this pressure on, I don't know how much I would risk trying to fight him for this, knowing that Norgard, and he's in the wall. Oh boy, he's ahead of everyone else right now in the points, but this could change some stuff here. We'll see. He kept the speed up, but yeah, like I said, I don't know if I would battle him too hard, knowing that you got the lead over Kaner, who's your closest rival in the point.
And one thing to keep in mind as well, a couple lap cars coming into play here momentarily. Kyle Hanshaw right there. That's the red car on the bottom. There's another one just up the road that I believe is Brandon Ultra in the 45. That's a teammate to Gavin Higgins and Jay Connor. Could that potentially come into play? I'm not sure. I don't think anything bad would happen, but maybe you might see the driver of that 45 make it a bit tougher for the leaders to go by. As by the way, Andrew Rucker was just on pit road. He has worked his way back out onto the racing surface. So a unscheduled stop for the driver of the 64.
Yeah, Ryan is starting to stretch it out here. I think he may be well and done here battling with these guys. I would keep an eye, though, here for second. Higgins, obviously Kaner's teammate, may put some pressure and try and disrupt this a little bit, knowing that his buddy is tied in the points with it. And we got a yellow.
Connor Thompson has crashed here and brought out caution number 4 with 14 laps to go. And he
wrong car.
a little bit of help.
Yeah, if we run it back a little bit, it looked like Connor was stuck in the wall. Kind of what happened with Jess earlier. You just hang the right rear out a little bit. Yeah, got up in the wall. Don't know how much time the 60 would have had to react there with him being stuck in the wall, but
I don't think he had much. Oh,
man, that was close.
It was Jeff Ryan there that I think made a little bit of contact with the Connor Thompson machine, but
let's take a ride on board with him if I can.
On board with Jeff Ryan driving the 10.
Oh, there was, man.
If he made contact, it was very slight, but not much he could have done there different than what he did. And by the way, everybody coming down pit road.
Take a look at the pit lane exit here.
Oh no, Jay Connor overshot his pit box as well. Had to pop it in reverse to get into his stall. So probably going to lose a couple of positions here. Gavin Higgins out of his box, but it's going to be Tommy Ryan first off pit road here. Leighton Norgard, Gavin Higgins, Jeff Green, and Hunter Smith, the top 5. Yeah, Jay Connor falls all the way back to 7th spot here behind Corey Abbott, and Jess Story is actually, it's going to be 8th for Connor out of the pit box. Michael Hossack, Dave Carpenter, the rest of the top 10.
Now that we have this hopefully final cycle of pit stops done here, why don't we go ahead and pay some bills?
We like paying bills. Let's do it.
Flames will burn and sparks will fly at the NHRA Midwest Nationals, September 27th through 29th at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Kickoff race weekend in style with 2 qualifying sessions in one day, plus the can't-miss show of Nitro Under the Lights on Friday, September 27th. Get tickets at WWTRaceway.com with kids 12 and under free and general admission. The NHRA Midwest Nationals, September 27th through 29th at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're back.
And welcome back. We're back, Jesse. We're back here at Kansas. Just heard from a couple of our great partners.
See what we could do here to... It's going to be a little bit crazy, but hoping it's a good crazy and just a lot of tight battles here for the last 11 laps, but we'll see how it goes.
Something to point out here, I just got done with making the calls, but Darren Stapp, crucial mistake here, clipped a pit cone on entry, got an end of the line. So he had to go to the back there.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's devastating. He was having a great run here. Now gonna have to work his way back up from 22nd. Pace car's off, Tyler. Let's go green.
Yep, and everyone should be on 4 tires. 11 to go here. Big jump by Tommy. Norgard kind of sleeping there, but really good jump from Tommy. Battle's going to be for second here as they're side by side through the field.
Let's take a wider
Definitely
camera.
some good battles here up towards the front. Gavin Higgins going to clear up to second. Here comes Hunter Smith down to the inside of a Leighton Norgard as well as they're battling it out for position. Dave Huckleberry going to rejoin the field after an extended stay on pit road. Had some damage. Now back out there as now Norgard falls back to the 4 spot. Smith up to third. Here comes Jeff Green and Jess Story taking a peek down to the inside of a Leighton Norgard as well. Norgard is sinking fast here.
Not good for his points situation. I don't know. I'm assuming they all took 4 tires. Kaner is also a lot farther back than he was. So a lot of points implications here late in the race.
Yeah, so Jay actually overshot his box, but actually had the reverse, so he lost quite a bit of positions. I believe he came out 8th after that cycle of pit stops there.
Yeah, that's correct. As the battle's on for the top spot there, Tommy Ryan gonna hold on to the lead. Gavin Higgins tried to get by him, wasn't quite able to do it. Looks like Norgard found the gear, now back up to the 4th spot, chasing down Hunter Smith. 8 laps to go here, about 7.5 actually, as they head down towards turn number 3 once again. Battle's on for 3rd. Corey Abbott in the wall just a little bit further back. He's gonna fall behind the Michael Hosick machine. And if you're late Norgard, you really wanted Corey Abbott to be ahead of Michael Hosick, have a teammate putting another point between yourself and the points that are actually taking a point away in that gap, but not going to work out that way, as now Corey Abbott falls back to 10th. Hosick in 7th, Norgard up there in 4th, and they're chasing down Tommy Ryan, Gavin Higgins, and Hunter Smith, as the hard charging Dustin Haynes has a hard charge into the outside wall.
Yeah. Might have got some help here. We'll see. It's
oh, yeah, you did.
Speed it up a little bit here.
So you're going to see it right here. He's going to get hooked there by Dave Carpenter. Ooh. Unfortunately, Brett Baldeck going to get involved in that one as well. And Dustin Haynes was having himself a really, really good run. Now going to fall to the tail of the field after going for a wild ride. Brett Baldeck probably had a great view of that one as well, Jesse, having the 3 machine up on the hood and the windshield of that number 84 machine of Brett Baldeck.
I'm just trying to find him here in the list. I can't seem to locate his. Oh, there he is.
Currently back in 17th now.
Yeah, so we'll just roll it back a little bit. Again, I apologize. I don't have the instant replay screen, but we'll definitely have that for the next one.
Jesse's still new to this, folks. Give him some patience. He's doing a great job anyway. This is going to be a wild sight here from Baldeck. He sees the underside of that Dustin Haynes machine. Shout out to Brett Baldeck as well, the Fox News reporter out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
No takers on pit road. It wasn't that long of a run, but everyone kind of content to stay where they are. I was just going to mention before that yellow, quietly up to 3rd is Hunter Smith, who coming into tonight was kind of a wild card in the points. He's 5th place, but he's 17 points back. So definitely needs a good run, and he's right there when he needs to be. But like you mentioned, Hosick up to 7th, being the points leader, doing everything that he needs to do to maintain that going into the last race next week.
It's wild to consider that just a couple minutes ago we were talking about how Leighton Norgard and Jay Connor had basically tied the points lead with Michael Hosick. Now you have Norgard just 3 positions ahead of Hosick, and Connor a spot behind Michael Hosick, coming down to a restart that'll likely bring us towards that 2 to go mark here. Currently sitting at 5, probably get 1 to green this time. So it's quite crazy how quickly things swing here in the Elite Racing League. And you mentioned Hunter Smith driving for the Chad Frankenfield owned Little Eagle Racing, currently sitting up there in 3rd. Shout out to you, by the way, Ryan Schuld and Hunter Smith. I know I'm going to get text messages saying that Chad doesn't own the team, but he tells us he does all the time.
I was just going to say, I don't know, but yeah. No, shout out to him. 3rd place. We'll see if he can hold it this restart.
So we actually did not get the 1 to go on that one, so I believe we're going to be coming back to a natural green-white checker, potentially?
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're either going to go to a natural green-white checkered, or we'll dip into overtime, but we should be seeing a natural green-white checker coming up here. We should get 1 to green at 3 laps to go, and we're getting down to the late stages of this one. 5 cautions on the day. Tommy Ryan, Gavin Higgins, Hunter Smith, Leighton Norgard, and Jeff Green, the top 5. Is Jesse going to bring us through the front of the field here?
Just catch up to you here on the top 5, and then we'll just see how far we can go for a lap here. So yeah, you got Jeff Green at 5th. You got Jeff Story running in 6th position there. Hosick making some really nice moves all night, and then keep it clean. He's running in the 7th place, and
Jay's unfortunate mishap on pit road has brought him back to the 8th position. Got Corey Abbott in 9th. He's been running a really clean race, and then Frank Fody rounding out your top 10 here.
Just behind them as well, a couple drivers that have had very quiet but good runs tonight. Andrew Hardcastle in 11th as the lights are off in the pace car this time. Andrew Hardcastle 11th. Bailey Ballard up there in the 12th spot. Mark Robilis there as well inside that top 13. And, you know, we saw Austin and Abnett involved in an earlier incident. Now finds himself up inside the top 15. So good run by that Lake Norman Motorsports rookie behind the wheel of the 60. And, you know, Tyler, obviously you're up here in the booth, but your guys have really shown some great progress throughout this Pit Pass Network ARCA series as well in the Stay Tuned Sports Truck series. So it's nice to see the development continuing, the mentorship as well from champions such as yourself.
Yeah, well, that's what this series is all about. You get to see a lot of guys that maybe you don't normally see racing up front, and it also just gives them kind of a space to, you know, figure out the basics and get a little experience where maybe in other series they wouldn't have that. So it's definitely something that everyone's enjoyed, and getting ready to go green here.
Green flags back out. We're back underway. Tommy Ryan with a great jump there. Gonna cross the finish line first here to take us to 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air this time. Hunter Smith in second. He's battling side by side with Gavin Higgins, as now Higgins going to fall back to a side-by-side battle with Jeff Green. A late Norgard up on the high side. Here comes Michael Hosick down on the inside. Big Haas trying to get back inside the top 5 as they're coming to the white flag this time.
Jess Story trying to get in there 3 wide. A lot of points on the line. These guys got to remember they still got a race next week, and they're all in relatively good spots. Oh boy, here comes Kaner up the middle.
Jay's got to do what he's got to do, try to keep himself at least right there with a late Norgard in the event that something does happen to Michael Hosick as they head down the back straightaway for the final time here. Tommy Ryan seeking his first victory of the season. Hunter Smith there in that second spot as a couple drivers in the wall towards the rear. Brian Carrington and Shea Mitchell as we come off turn number 4 this time. Checkered flag is out. It's Tommy Ryan picking up the victory. It's Ryan time here at Kansas. Hunter Smith going to cross second, and Gavin Higgins rounds out the podium.
And a massive crash to finish it off in the background there.
Yeah, I seen it, but I couldn't catch any names or car numbers, so let's see if we can roll back here. That was
wild, guys.
I think we see a car.
Hey, shout out to Mark Robilis, 10th place tonight. He gets himself a top 10. Oh, that's going to cost you a bit of money there, Tyler. There's a couple of your guys coming in.
Oh, jeez.
Can we ride on board there with Brian Carrington in the 13? He just went for a wild ride there at the end.
Yeah, we'll take an in-car view here.
Oh, my.
Carrington.
Holy what?
Cockpit.
He's already battling it from the entry of 3, and he has not even gotten to the chaos yet. You're coming to the line. You're not lifting at this point. You're just going to stay on it. Crosses the line. He's going to get clipped, and up he goes.
Oh, man.
That is absolute chaos and wild in every possible way there, guys. As we take a look at the finishing results, Tommy Ryan takes the victory. Hunter Smith second, Gavin Higgins third. Jeff Green and a late Norgard round up the top 5. Jess Story with a great recovery to 6th here tonight. Points leader Michael Hosick comes home 7th. Corey Abbott 8th. 9th is Jay Connor, and 10th to Mark Robilis. Tyler, why don't you take us through to position number 20 and see who had some good luck and maybe who needs the horseshoe for next week?
Yeah, well, so Bailey Ballard, P11, Connor Thompson, P12. Harrison Talon, kind of a quiet night, 13th. Andrew Hardcastle, 14th. Austin and Abnett, top 15 there. Frank Fody, 16th. Darren Stapp, 17th. After the unfortunate pit error right at the end there cost him Andrew Rucker comes back to 18th after a couple issues. Brandon Ultra 19th, and Shea Mitchell gets a top 20 there.
So some good runs all around here tonight, as it actually looks like the podium finishers are already standing by. So why don't we kick it off with our third place finisher, Gavin Higgins, who's standing by with our great producer, Jesse Racimus.
Gavin, you got a copy, bud?
Yes, I do.
Hey, so you ran a really good race there and it managed out with a P3. Why don't you take us through the night that you had?
Yeah, that long run we had, all we got to do, I just had to save my tires the best I could, and then we got those cautions. But I could have probably had a better restart on the last one. Tommy and Hunter, they just got the run on me on the inside, and I had nothing for them on the top.
Yeah, definitely looked like you ran a nice clean race there and kind of saved your tires. I kind of made a comment about that earlier because last season when you kind of joined us, you kind of burned up your right front a lot. So what notes have you taken since last season to kind of get you in the position you're running in now?
No notes. I mean, just Jay keep on telling me don't run it up, and he taught me how to not ruin my tires. So credit to him for doing that.
All right, you got any sponsors or shout outs you want to give?
No sponsors, but shout out to you guys for doing this. Mom, dad, brother, sister, watching upstairs, grandparents, Jay, Brandon, and Jaden for racing with us today. Neighbor Pete.
All right. You got anything for him for next week, you think?
Next week's Michigan. I don't know. I did good in the Xfinity race there, but these cars are totally different than them, so we'll see how I go.
All right. Well, good luck to you, and we'll see how this championship battle with you guys ends up. And best wishes, and see if you get top spot here.
Hey, thanks.
That was third place driver Gavin Higgins. I'm now joined by Hunter Smith. Hunter, great run here tonight, coming home in the second position. One of those good gainers, started sixth, work your way up to second. Walk us through your race this evening.
It was a very boring race for me, to be completely honest. I let everyone pass me, just sat there, saved my tire. If that run would have gone green the whole way, I honestly think I may have been able to pull a cut lip like what he did last night, but never got shot. Got lucky, though, because I am usually awful on 2-to-goes and things like that. Somehow I was able to pull it off. Got a good restart for once in my career, and made two passes and got up to second. And yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't get around Tommy. He didn't throw it in as hard as I hoped he would have. But other than that, yeah, good solid race.
Now, obviously, tonight was the penultimate round of the season. The points have just been updated, by the way. You enter the finale 12 points out of the top spot, but just 3 points back of third place Jay Connor. What's your outlook for Michigan, and what do you need to do to get it done there and maybe give yourself that outside shot at the title?
I need somebody to bring a chrome horn with him and maybe perhaps give Hossack a little bit of the bumper. Other than that, it's going to be really tough. He's been super consistent. It's my dog whines. But Elaine's also has been really strong. So, I mean, between those two guys, and especially Jay, it's going to be tough for me to come back from 12 points. I was hoping to get the win tonight to help me out. But, I mean, if you look at my playoffs, I haven't really had a bad result besides Talladega. And even then, it was like 16th. It's crazy how tight the points are right now.
Well, you mentioned how tight the points are. The top 5 entering the finale separated by just 14 points. That is insane to think that 5 guys realistically have a shot in one way or another for that championship, which is one race to go. And, you know, obviously, Hunter, you're driving for the Chad Frankenfield-owned Little Legal Racing. Why don't you give some shout-outs here to your team and your sponsors?
I hear you laughing at that. Man, Ryan's going to love that one. Appreciate Little Eagle Racing. Appreciate Chad's ownership. He's done a great job. He's the best owner to race for, that's for sure. What a line, man. What a line.
Well, Hunter, great job here tonight. Congratulations on the runner-up finish, and we look forward to seeing you later on at Michigan.
Thank you. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.
And that was Hunter Smith, driver of the 54. And now finally standing by with Tyler Fody is our race winner, Tommy Ryan.
Yeah, standing by here with race winner Tommy Ryan. Tommy, you started 4th tonight. We kind of saw you the first half, just minding your business, running inside the top 5, watching the leaders, Norgard and Kaner battling it there. You made the move late in the run there, 20, 30 laps to go, and then held on to the lead. Just kind of walk us through your night and what led to the eventual win.
Yeah, actually, in the first part of the race, I walled it twice, lost a bunch of track position. I was running top 5 or whatever, and got made a couple mistakes and got way back there. I think I was 15th at one time, and then we finally got a long run, and I worked my way back up. And a couple guys had some problems, and had a long run there and got track position back. Then caution comes out, and yeah, I was surprised. Everybody, I mean, if this thing got in the wall a little bit, it would just suck in, and you just lost all kinds of time. And it does something to the tire; it really heats it up, and so you have no grip for at least a corner or two. And then got back going, and then had an opportunity. Those guys were, really wearing each other out, and took advantage of. I think it was Norgard got tight off too and got the wall. It's kind of same thing what happened to me in the beginning of the race, and never looked back. I really wanted this. This was my first win in Elite, so wanted this one pretty bad. It's great league, really competitive. You race like hell for 15th, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that. Congrats, obviously, on your first win. Just looking at the points here, it looks like you've run maybe half the races this season. Obviously eligible next season. Do you see yourself giving a full-time effort to the series here, seeing if you can maybe see yourself in the playoffs next season?
Yes, I mean, as long as how life happens. But yeah, I don't plan on going anywhere else unless something really crazy happens. But yeah, I race here. I think 3 nights a week right now, I believe. But yeah, it's great. Chad puts on a good great league here. Live admins calling live shots, and they've got heads on their shoulders. They understand. I don't agree with every call. Like, everybody's not going to please everybody, but most of the time they get it right. So real happy about that.
Yeah, well, we love having you. Look forward to seeing you maybe with a full-time effort next season. Anyone you want to thank, sponsors, anything like that for tonight?
Yeah, I've got a long-time sponsor, Northern Tool and Equipment, northerntool.com. Obviously, everything going on in the world today, everybody needs a generator here on the East Coast, so we have them. Stores are struggling to keep them, but we do have them. We're just trying to get them there. So if you need anything for your storm supplies, head on over to northerntool.com or your local store.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we appreciate the work you do there, and again, congrats on the win. Maybe we'll see you and talk to you again next week for the ARCA finale.
Yep, I'll be here. Thanks.
And that was your race winner, Tommy Ryan. And guys, that's about going to do it here at Kansas. Why don't we go ahead and get some final thoughts, beginning with you, Jesse Racines.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting race. I've seen a lot of nice battles there, and a couple of simple mistakes that kind of trickled back and caused a lot of those accordion effects. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was a very clean race, and just those little mishaps, but we'll get around those.
Absolutely. Tyler Fody, final thoughts from you.
Yeah, I thought it was a great race. You had some short runs, you had a long run, some tire saving came into it, had a late restart. I think you really saw the guys that needed to perform did what they needed to do, and we've got a pretty tight championship battle coming up. I believe next week at Michigan, so that'll definitely be something to tune in for. A few guys there that you maybe don't normally see running for titles will be going at it, so it should be a good one.
Definitely agree there. Can't wait for the finale next week at Michigan. Once again, like I said, the top 5 separated by just 14 points entering that finale that's going to be coming up next Tuesday night right here on the Elite Racing Network. And just a quick picture there of the points. Michael Hossack leads by 3 over Leighton Norgard, 9 over Jay Connor, 12 over Hunter Smith, and 14 over Jess Story. Going to be one heck of a battle. Be sure to tune in for that. But in the meantime, tune in tomorrow night for coverage of the Belly Up Sports Cup Series right here on the Elite Racing Network. Dave Huckleberry will be on the controls with Dave Westergreen and Zach Evans on the call from Atlanta for the Gaming Life 200. But on behalf of Jesse Racibas and Tyler Fody, my name is Robert Hill Jr. Thanks for joining us here tonight, and we'll see you next time.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.